climate change is here. We can see it happening before our very eyes. And as it becomes worse over time, it is us, the children of today, who will have to deal with it tomorrow. This is why I'm standing here before you as a climate change activist. And I'm asking you to be one too. It was just over a year that I learned about climate change. I learned that the Earth was warming up way more than it should. The Earth has kept a constant temperature for thousands of years. But since the 1980s, its temperature began to rise. It became a huge problem that in 1992, the United Nations recognized that climate change was a serious issue. And later that year, 158 countries all over the world signed a document promising that they would reduce greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere. Greenhouse gases? What's that? Well, those are the gases that are responsible for climate change. Gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. These are the gases that we release into the atmosphere when we burn fossil fuels. Wait a second. Fossil fuels? What's fossil fuels? Fossil fuels are coal, oil, and gas, which are actually the remains of plants and animals from millions of years ago. We dig up fossil fuels from the earth to power our factories, light up our homes, and fuel our cars. So what's wrong with that, you may ask? We do need factories to make the clothes we wear. We need light and heat in our homes. And we need transportation like cars and buses to take us to school. But the problem is that when we burn fossil fuels, we release carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. And because there's so many of us on this planet, there's way too much greenhouse gases in the air. That's what's causing global warming and contributing to climate change. You see, the Earth's temperature depends on balance. Every morning, the sun's rays pass through the atmosphere and make us warm. And in the evening, the warmth bounces back into space and makes us cool. This has happened every day for millions of years. But when the balance is upset, the climate changes. The climate has changed naturally many times before. Sometimes natural disasters, such as volcanic eruptions, can cause the climate to change. But lately, the cause of climate change is mainly because of greenhouse gases. You can think of greenhouse gases like a thick blanket that covers the Earth. When more and more of it enter the atmosphere, the blanket gets thicker and thicker, and the Earth gets warmer and warmer. You would think it's nice when it's warm, but not for the Earth. Because when the Earth gets warmer and warmer, everything in nature gets out of balance. Glaciers melt, causing the sea levels to rise and leads to more flooding everywhere. The ocean's temperature increases, which kills coral reefs and many marine animals. Plants and animals can't adjust to the extreme weather, and they can perish forever. The simple fact is, all living things are in danger because of climate change. And since we, humans, are the cause of it, we are the only ones who can solve it. Our planet is a beautiful and an amazing place to live in. Right now, it needs our help. And it's impossible to just rely on governments and world leaders. Al Gore, Jane Goodall, and Greta Thunberg to make things happen. The truth is, it will take all of us on this planet to make it work. Every single one of us. And that's why we all need to be climate change activists. So, are you ready? Let's do this. To start, we can do two simple things. Two simple but very important things that all of us here can and should do. Two simple things that will decide what kind of future we will have Here's the first one. Know more. We all need to start by being more aware of what is happening. Knowing more is the first step to making a difference. Your parents, your teachers, the internet are all good places to ask and get answers. I told you a bit about greenhouse gases and fossil fuels earlier, but there's so much more to know about climate change. When we know more, we can understand more. When we know more, we can tell more people. And when we know more, we can do more. The second thing we can do is to use less of everything. Every single thing that we buy and consume has to be produced with energy and transported long distances. So the idea is that if you don't need it, don't buy it. Use less energy. Turn off the lights when you don't need it. Use less water. You can turn off the tap when you're soaping. Use less fuels. Walk, take public transit, or use an electric vehicle. Know more and use less. Two simple but very important things that will make an impact in reversing climate change. It's never too early to participate in our future. As kids, we need to learn how to be citizens too. We know the problem and we can be part of the solution. Let's all be climate activists. Let's all start taking climate change more seriously. Let's all start spreading awareness and making the change. We are the only generation who can solve it. We have nothing to lose, but so much to gain. But we have no choice but to start now. So, are you ready? Let's do this.